Hi everybody, this is take two because I was holding up my phone and you could see sod all, which probably would be quite funny, but no, I do want to be a little bit informative. So I'm going to start off inside the van today and then I'm going to quickly take you out at the end to show you where we are, because my daughter said let's see where you are each time and tell us something about, you know, where you're parked. So I'm going to do that at the end. So I'm going to start off today with telling you about my oat milk. Now, have you got that? Let's check. Yeah, oat milk. This is something that's very exciting to me because I've discovered oat milk is the one thing that's nice in tea and coffee out of all of them. You don't really want... Nut milk's okay, it's a bit thick, it's a bit sweet. Soy milk tastes like soya, which is fine in other things, but I don't like it in tea and coffee. But oat milk seems to cut it. So it's quite hard to find, and anyway, you know, it's a little bit expensive if you can make your own. So I googled a recipe, and Google is your friend, and all you do is you just soak a cup of oats or whatever you want. You don't have to be that worried about quantities, which is great by me. So you soak that for not very long, 15-20 minutes, and because a film is released from the oats that you don't want in your milk. Apparently it's okay in porridge, but you don't want it in your milk. So you soak them, you then strain it. I mean, if you're not fussy, it's probably okay. I'd probably try it with both, but I just follow the recipe. So you drain your oats, and then I did it like 1 cup to 3, I believe, of water. Or 4 if you wanted a bit thinner. 3 was about right for the consistency for tea and coffee. And before you do that though, you blend up a couple of dates, just 2 dates, to give it a little bit of sweetness, and then a little bit of dash of vanilla. The first time I did it was without any sweetness. I thought I don't need sweetener in my milk, but actually I guess I'm so used to cow's milk that this is the closest to cow's milk, and I did miss it. So you just blend up, pulverize basically a couple of dates in your blender with the mill blade, and anyway then you put in your wet oats and your water, 3 cups of water if you've got 1 cup of oats, and you blend the whole lot in bursts of like 10 seconds till it looks good and homogenized. And then you get out your trusty, this is actually called a nut bag, but as it gets sent to my daughter in paroxysms of giggles, I'm now calling it my mesh bag. You get out your mesh bag. That's probably one of my best buys before I left. Got it on Amazon, a couple of pounds. It's brilliant because it's got such a close mesh, it can strain anything. So you put in your oat wad, you squeeze it out, and what you get left is a wonderful pint or however much of oat milk, which I've been doing that all the time. And then me with my fibre, I think, oh, I can't throw it away, so I save the fibre in the blender, and in the freezer rather, and our freezer is now full of fibre. I've got to start doing something with it. I do cook it occasionally, but as Martin has drawn his line with having my fibre in his meals, I've got to keep finding ways to eat it, and even the dog doesn't like it, not really. But anyway, we have a ball of oat fibre in our freezer, but the actual oat milk is socking nice. The other thing which I was absolutely delighted about was how to make pomegranate juice. You probably remember the first time I tried it, it was too bitter. That's because I'd done the seeds too much. What you have to do, peel your pomegranate, which is quite simple actually, it does just pull away, and then try and pull all the white stuff out from between the seeds. It does take a little bit of time, but then if you think of how expensive pomegranate juice is, and the health benefits are amazing. Pomegranate juice has got everything in it. Plus it's the season now. You can see them for like 40p in supermarkets that need to be sold by that day or something. They're really cheap. And half a pomegranate will give you 2 glasses. So what you do, you get your juice again, just put water with it, however much, depending how thick or thin. We had a fairly thin one. Start blending it, but only little bursts. You only want to break the seeds. You don't want to pulverize it, because then that's what happened before and it didn't taste very nice. So you just break it up, and then you blend it through your trusty wire mesh bag. Get the stuff out. We didn't keep the fibre fat one because it is very bitter, and it was absolutely lovely. I've got a picture of Martin really enjoying it. And I wanted to say, because I also did a blend of other things that same day, this is what my sink looked like. Actually, it looked a lot worse towards the end. That is a camper's sink. And what I do is I get everything I'm going to blend or juice, throw it into our tiny little sink, which I've shown you already. Chop up what I need, all the leavings and bits and mess and everything, I just shove straight back in the sink. So in the end you get a mixture of things you're still going to chop up and mess from what you've already chopped up. And I love it actually. It gets bigger and bigger, this mess, and I'm putting it in the blender and doing all the stuff. And then at the end, it's so easy. You just clean out the whole sink. And we have this understanding, because Martin can't face, understandably, washing up after all my juicer and blender business. I put it all in a bucket and I toddle off to where the nearest tap is, take my little muslin bag too with all the fibre, and I just wash it all out there. So he doesn't even know. When he comes to wash up in the morning, which is what he does every day, washes up stuff for the whole day, he doesn't even know I've been there with my juicer and blender, and that's how we want it to stay. So what else can I show you? This was rather a nice pumpkin bread that I made. Really pleased with that. I put loads of extra healthy stuff in, and I've chopped it up, got it in the freezer. Really lovely way to use pumpkin, and obviously pumpkin soups and that sort of thing's great as well. So let's just get some other. Oh, I'll tell you a story about my sauerkraut. When I lived in Holland, one of the recipes I loved to use most was the sauerkraut mashed in with mashed potatoes with applesauce and some sort of frankfurter, and we had that a lot, and a really tasty gravy. What do you need? You're right. I saw some sauerkraut here, and I thought, oh, because I had a few spicy frankfurtery sausages I got from vegans, I'll make that meal. So I got my tin of sauerkraut, got my applesauce, which we actually had to buy because we just happened to be out of apples that day. Normally I would have made it. Mashed up my potatoes, just opened the tin of sauerkraut to mash into the potatoes, and I discovered there was ham. There were bits of sodding ham in the sauerkraut. They just decided that whoever bought sauerkraut must want bits of ham in it. And I stood there poised with this. We were just about to eat. I was starving. Everything was like 8 o'clock at night. Everything was ready to eat. And I remembered one of the wise people that I'd listened to on YouTube said, you're going to have mistakes every now and then. Just be easy on yourself. Well, I wasn't going to eat the ham. I knew that much. But I did pick out the ham and still had it and put it extra on Martin's plate. So that was quite funny, really. And that's an example of, you've got to compromise every now and then if you do make a mistake. The other funny thing about that particular meal was we opened this jar of applesauce. We were halfway through it thinking, this is really sweet applesauce. And we looked at it. It was only apple and banana puree, probably for a baby. So anyway, so that just goes to show that, the best laid plans and all that. So what else can I show you? Oh yes, the other day I thought it was about time I made myself a nice pudding. Martin's always having these lovely biscuits and yogurts and the occasional donut and things like that I can't have anymore, which is fine. But every now and then I don't just want fresh fruit or nuts or dark chocolate for a snack. I want something a bit desserty. So the time had come to make some more cashew cream. So I got my cashews, soaked them, blended them with the inside of a mango, and I made this lovely cashew cream, which you can see here is over chopped banana with raw cacao nibs, they're called, on top. Really nice. And that was a dessert that would be on any menu, I think. When I went to the place here, which I'll show you when I go out, it was a hypermarket, and as I was walking around the sauces section, I thought, I wonder if I can find that sauce sriracha that Felicity says is her favourite. Well, I did. I found it. I couldn't believe it. And sriracha, if you ever come across it, is like Tabasco's badass little sister. Here it is. And I wasn't able to find it anywhere in England or all the way down. Sriracha. And it's like 61% chili, so no wonder it's so hot, but it is really nice. So I was really delighted about that. That was a nice one. So what else have we got here? Just have a look at my list of things to tell you. Oh yeah, kombucha. This is our little kombucha bag. We put it in a Ziploc bag in case the whole lot exploded because we didn't want to splatter the van with nasty stuff. But so far it's been really good. And we're only doing the one bottle. This is the bottle I showed you before. We just filled it up with sweet tea. It was black tea with quite a bit of sugar, I think. I just had to wing it. We had no idea. We did have a look online, didn't get very far. And every day I do this. Yeah, did you hear the little pop? So that's let the air out of that for the day. At least that's what we think we have to do. And after about 2 weeks, I did have a taste of it the other day, and it was absolutely lovely, with a little bit of fizz to it, which is supposed to be the probiotic, which is very good for you. What else? Cranberries are everywhere at the moment. You can get them dried. They're really cheap. Just soak them up and throw them into whatever you're having. We could have them in muesli. I put them in the pumpkin bread. They're really nice tang. And another meal I made, which I was delighted with, was black bean and sweet potato chili, which was very nice. I love sweet potatoes. Martin's less keen, so next time I shall do half potato, half sweet potato. But this one was made with some hotness and sweetness, like ginger and things as well, and some honey. And tamari. That was a really nice thing. Okay, I'm now going to take you round where we are. So once again, Pippi Chops is snoozing, even though it's only like 10 in the morning. Martin's having a cup of tea on the bed, hiding his face, and I shall try and get the camera low enough this time, because last time I was showing you the campsite and it was sky. That's all you could see, it was sky. So here we are. This is our like huge playground where we can park. There's only 3 vans here, one on each side of us. Camper vans are very funny. They feel they have to huddle together against the great unknown. Look, we've got this huge expanse where people could park, and we go on the grass, and so people go on each side. That's quite funny. And over there you can see some goats, which are absolutely lovely. I just walked towards it while I finished talking. We had the most stunning drive down here. We crossed from England through Germany, through Belgium into Germany, and then right up against the Polish border, and we've just followed the border down. We haven't actually gone into Poland yet. We will do. And we're right on the toe of Germany, where it joins to the Czech Republic and Poland. It's so exciting. And the radio, we have this little local radio that picks up anything, and I love the dialect. It's just like nothing I've ever heard before. And the route down was stunning, with the hills getting bigger and bigger. This is actually called, this area we are now is actually called Bohemian Switzerland National Park, because it's quite hilly. You can see the bridge up there. And there's the hugely empty motorhome site with 3 clustered motorhomes together, and that's a clapped-out caravan that no one's using. So on the route on the way down, as I said, was the most beautiful we've had so far. The trees, as you can see, are turning, and they're just lovely, lovely colours. And I must get my watercolours out soon and try and capture it painting. And so that's it really. So in that gorgeous spot, I shall say bye-bye and see you soon.